help you better understand what this is all about. So thanks for spending a couple minutes with me today. So here's the idea. This is not necessarily the way that you would expect the productivity coach to start the discussion on productivity coaching, but I want you to hear something very, very clearly. Okay, you have joined a world-class technology company, the #1 training organization in the world. Okay, it is very possible that you could come into this organization, okay, and you can do all the things that all the KW curriculums say, and all the things that the team meetings tell you to do, and all the things that you read in the books that you should do: generate leads, follow up, go on appointments, etc. And if you're focused and committed on having an awesome business, there is virtually nothing that can stop you. That's not really the point then. The point is productivity coaching is really designed to be an accelerator. Okay, it's designed to help that happen faster and likely bigger too. Okay, and so I don't want you to hear that you can't get what you want without productivity coaching. What I want you to hear is, if you decide to engage with productivity coaching, you're going to have somebody who has a deep vested interest in your success, who has built a sales business before, who has attended every single curriculum KW offers, many of them multiple times, and who cares deeply that you get what you want out of this experience. Okay, you would be more or less hiring a partner to walk hand in hand through this journey together to make sure that you can get exactly what you want, and that you have clarity on what it is, and that you have clarity on the plan that you're going to need to get there. So I've said before that I think a broker's job is actually not all that complicated. Okay, it's to say to somebody, Mindy, what is it that you want out of this business, right? Are you looking for some type of fulfillment? Are you looking for income? Are you looking for both? Is there something deeper that's driving you to help people buy real estate and sell real estate? Right? Why have you chosen this business? What are you hoping to achieve? Why is that stuff important to you? Right? Then we create a plan together so that you know exactly what success looks like, and to make certain that you're on that track. And then the next thing that you're going to do is ideally be held accountable to those behaviors. We know from studying top producers, not just in real estate, but everywhere, generally the more accountability that you allow into your life, the better success you're going to have, right? Why would somebody hire a fitness coach when they can go on YouTube and see how to lift the weights? It's because they need accountability, or they desire accountability, and they know that top performers seek accountability, right? Just like your golfer is going to have a swing coach. Tiger Woods has got a swing coach. Think that guy's a better golfer than Tiger Woods? Not a chance. But he's not Tiger Woods, and that's the point. He is watching everything from the outside, trying to figure out what Tiger's doing wrong with the swing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So our mission in the productivity coaching program is to create a community of learning-based and purpose-driven leaders focused together on accelerating the trajectory of our businesses and the quality of our lives. Okay, using the powerful leverage of Keller Williams systems, model systems, and technology, we intend to create abundant lives for ourselves and for those we support. Okay. The main part of that discussion is the quality of life. Okay. I've literally talked to thousands of agents, and they all got into the business for the same reason. I want a better life. I want a better quality of life, right? I want more control over my time, my calendar, more flexibility. I want to spend more time with my family. I want to make more money. I want to be in an organization that I can be financially rewarded for the effort that I put out, right? We had an agent in our office that top producer that came into, that I interviewed for the program earlier this week. And he said, one of the reasons why I got into real estate was because I was bagging groceries and I was took my job seriously and I did it really well and I worked really hard. Yet I was making the same amount of money that that guy was making and he was blowing off his job. You see what I'm saying? So he said, I want to be paid as a function of the effort that I put in and the ethics that I have. And as a result, he came to a business that he can be rewarded with more commissions when he does more work and has more of an impact. Does that resonate with you guys?
Yeah.
So my job as the productivity coach is really to help you navigate this business, particularly as a newer agent. You're going to feel, and you probably already feel, the pressure of just so much stuff, right? We got an awesome technology platform. We've got thousands of ways to generate leads. You got a bunch of models and systems. Everyone's telling you to learn this, read this, listen to this, go to this class, right? Do Ignite, do Bold, you know, practice scripts, get an accountability partner, all these kind of things. It's like drinking from a fire hose. And if you let it, it will overwhelm you. And so it's actually really helpful for you to have somebody by your side that says, hey, that can wait 6 months. Hey, this needs to happen today. Hey, 2 weeks on that one, 3 weeks on that one. You don't even need to mess with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's essentially one of my roles, is to help you navigate all the blur and try to put it into something super, super simple. And I'll give you an example of that here towards the end, okay? I don't want you to have to think that you're on this journey by yourself, okay? There's nobody more vested in your success than myself, okay? And we'll talk about why that is regarding how I'm paid here in a bit as well, okay? We're a systems and models based company. So we look for the models that successful agents have mastered or are en route to mastery on, which are the 4 models of the millionaire real estate agent. Okay, the ones we're probably going to focus on the most, particularly as a new agent, are the economic model and the lead generation model. So let me give you a real brief understanding of what that would look like. Hang on. Okay.
Hi there.
All right, I'm going to text you guys a version of this. This thing keeps tilting. I'm going to text you guys a version of this. All right, somebody's noisy. All right. If you could put yourself on mute, that would be fabulous. Actually, I'll do that now, and then just take yourself off of mute if you would like to, if you have a question or something. Okay. So the first model of the millionaire real estate agent is the economic model. So what we're trying to figure out here is, what is the game plan? What is the play, if you will, that we have to run in order to win, right? So if my football team is playing this defense, I'm gonna have a different play or plan than if I'm playing this defense and that quarterback or whatever, right? And if the game is, if the weather's perfect, I might run this particular play. And if the weather's rainy or snowy or something, I might have to run a different play. So that's the idea here, is what is the play that you're gonna have to run in order to have the success and meet the goals that you're trying to meet? So typically that is designed around either income or the number of families that you're going to help. So Mindy, you come to the business, this isn't your number necessarily, I'm just picking on you, and say, hey, I want to make $100,000 this year. So I ask you a couple of questions about, you know, the price range of the properties that you intend to sell, and some additional goals and conversion rates and whatnot, which I walk you through one-on-one. And then we determine, I will hit this goal nearly without fail if I do this and this and this. And those are generally tied to number of appointments that you go on, contracts that you execute, and closings that you have, right? There's never been a closing in the history of real estate without first having a contract. There's never been a contract in the history of real estate without first having an appointment. And there's never been an appointment in real estate without first having a discussion about setting the appointment, right? A conversation, a contact, right? So we're gonna create a list of what I call the big rocks. Okay, this is how many contacts you need to have every day. This is how many appointments you need to set and hold every week or every month. This is how we're going to generate the leads, and this is how we're going to measure whether we're successful at generating the leads, right? I'm going to hold open houses. That's not specific enough. It needs to be, I'm going to hold open houses 3 times a week or 3 times a month, and this is how I'm going to prepare for the open house, and this is my follow-up strategy for all the people I meet at the open house, right? We have to, this is a real system. We have to treat this like a job, right? We have to be our own boss. So for some people that's tough, okay? This is the idea of mastering accountability and mastering being a business owner, and that's something I feel super passionate about, okay? So at the end of that conversation, you're gonna say to yourself, well, all I gotta do is go on 25 appointments this year and take 17 of them, and then I'll have my 12 closings or whatever the number is, right? So then we say to ourselves, where are all those appointments gonna come from, right? Most likely, some of those people will be strangers, right? So where am I going to find those people? Am I going to find those people through business to business, through open houses, through cold calling, through pay-per-click, through Facebook ads, through PTA groups, through volunteering? Like, where are those leads going to come from? And we create a list of the strategies that you want to execute on, and we get super specific on how do we know if we're winning on the open house strategy, right? How do we know we're winning on the first-time home buyer seminar strategy, right? How do we know we're winning on the, we're taking renters and proving to them that they can buy instead of rent and have more space in a more desirable home, most likely, by buying, right? So we're learning all the scripts and dialogues on how to handle people's needs, right? And how to serve them the way they want to be served, okay? The 2 other models are the budget model and the organizational model, which we'll get to as your business continues to develop and grow, okay? We have, let me kind of give you okay, let me finish that idea. So now we have some metrics that we know if we execute on, we're gonna hit our goals. So then we create a business plan that reflects those numbers and those goals. Then we go and we create tracking sheets, which show us, okay, well, you told me I need to have 55 contacts per week. Well, I need to track, right? So if I know I'm on pace or not, right? So we publicly report our numbers once a week, okay? When I see the numbers on an individual basis, I can tell what you're struggling with oftentimes. So for example, if you spend 7 hours generating leads, yet you only make 9 contacts, something's probably not working right? You're probably on the phone with these people for way too long, right? Or something may not be accurate. If you go on 10 appointments and only take 3 listings, that's a different challenge. If you write 10 offers but only get 3 accepted, that's a different challenge. If you set 10 appointments yet only hold 3, that's another challenge, right? So I can look at your data across the board and figure out, usually without even asking, what you're struggling with, and then teach and coach you on those topics, okay? I can also do that from the aggregate because we've got 45 people in the program, and I can say, hey, it looks like we're going on a lot of appointments, yet we're not closing enough deals. So is that because we're not setting proper expectations? We are not, we don't know how to close. We don't know how to deal with the objections that we might be facing, right? So how do I make certain that I am aware of the challenges I have, the gaps that I have, and then I have somebody or multiple people that are helping me get better, right? And then of course we go to your calendar. And your calendar is most likely going to have some lead gen time, some planning time, some lead follow-up time, some appointments, some practice time, some project time, right? We're building a business from the ground up. I suppose you could run this kind of haphazardly, but when you run it haphazardly, you tend to get haphazard results. When you run it strategically and purposefully and intentionally, you get the results that you suspected to get because you're just running the play. Does that make sense? Okay. The program that we are Mirroring basically was developed in Alpharetta over the last few years, and their numbers suggest that agents that participated in productivity coaching grew their businesses 3 times larger and 3 times faster. 3 times larger, 3 times faster. Okay. What we're trying to create here is a offering that is more or less a no-brainer. Okay, more or less a no-brainer. And my bet is that I can help you do more business with me than without me. Way more than enough to pay for my fee. Okay, and we'll get into that here shortly. Okay, so let me describe kind of what a kind of the weekly rhythm is of the productivity coaching program. Okay, every day, Monday through Friday, we have a morning huddle at 8:30. From 8:30 to 9, we meet in a Zoom room. It's always the same link, the one you've clicked today. Okay, it's my private Zoom room. Everything is done by Zoom. Okay, we may start having some like couple people in the training room, but for now it's done by Zoom. Everything is recorded, and we've been doing that for the last nearly 7 months. So you would have access, if you enroll in productivity coaching, you would have access to roughly 7 months of morning sessions and classes, and you know, on pretty much every topic under the sun. Economic model, 411s, GPSs, buyer presentations, listing presentations, pre-listing packages, profit share, scripts, dialogues, objection handlers, wealth building, tech, mindset, how to cap in 6 months, how to do a mock offer, how to negotiate pricing. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. Okay, there's a good deal of coaching in the program, obviously, and there's also a good deal of training in the program because, right, you need to be trained, right? So each day, Monday through Friday, we have a theme. So today our theme for the morning session was how to cap in 6 months. Yesterday we did a Bold 100 as a group where we made it an objective to contact 100 people in a day. And so we had the room open all day long where people were making their phone calls and putting up, hey, we did, you know, I got an appointment. Hey, how do we deal with this? Hey, I just had a funny story happen. Post, you know, we're all helping one another. Okay. In the morning, we prepared for that. The day before that, I think we had a class on mindset. The day before that, we had a class on, wasn't technology, I think it was pre-listing package, right? So there's always kind of a topic of the day, and oftentimes the topic are based on, in our private one-on-one sessions, what I'm noticing we keep talking about, right? So if I have a lot of people talking about a particular need, that's what we coach on, and that's what we train on, okay? We generally also have each week a top producer interview. Normally that's on Friday afternoons. This week it happened to be on Monday, but we bring in a top producer. Oftentimes that type of top producer is has a particular focus on like a arena that they tend to be a master in, whether it be open houses or first-time home buyer seminars or for sale by owners or prospecting or sphere of influence or Google ads or something like that, right? So we get to meet them and Q&A. There's generally at least one pop-up class a week. So at 11 o'clock, we're doing a class on building your systems. You guys are more than welcome to stay for that, okay? As we know, this is a system and models business, so we're doing a class on systems. There are basically about 3/4 of the group is launching agents that are in kind of the, you know, couple months in the business type of experience. We say like 0 units a year to about 3 sales a year. Each week we have a mastermind for that group. And then we have another group that's got about 10 to 12 people in it that is what we call the growth group. And that's agents that have been in the business a while and, you know, appreciate the value of productivity coaching, happy to pay for it, love the accountability, love the additional offerings, which I'll continue to explain. And we get together every Wednesday morning typically to talk about things that are most relevant to us in the growth and development of our business, okay? We also do a weekly 15-minute private coaching session with me. So that's the 2 of us are in the group, in the room together. No one else is there, it's not recorded. and we're specifically working through your business, right? Things you're doing well, problems you're having, how you're tracking in terms of your productivity, where we're noticing weaknesses, celebrating our successes, giving us a plan for the week ahead. Okay. Next, we have, in short, I'm more or less one of the first pieces of your journey, right? Helping you develop your foundational pieces, helping you develop your plan. Okay. At the very beginning, when you come into the group, we'll spend a little bit more time together, oftentimes privately, as we're building out some of those systems and making sure that you have an appropriate plan. Okay. Any questions so far? Okay. Let's continue with what's some additional offerings. Okay. We have a couple WhatsApp groups. We have a WhatsApp group for announcements that everyone is on. We have a WhatsApp group for help. So it's like a help community. Hey, I can't find this document. Hey, what do you guys think about this marketing piece I just built? You know, that kind of stuff. How would you handle this objection? We have a WhatsApp group for that. Each of the growth mastermind and the growth group and the launch group, they each have a WhatsApp group as well. As I mentioned, everything is recorded. So when you come on board, you'll have about 7 months of videos that are all housed on a private YouTube channel. We also have a private Google Drive. It's basically a warehouse of a bunch of script books and presentations and checklists and marketing stuff and models and all kinds of stuff that I've built over my career, as well as a lot of the training that I've participated in over time, that we've all kind of compiled it into that drive. So you would have access to that immediately. Okay, there's a couple of tech offerings that are at no charge to you because of your affiliation with Productivity Coaching. They are available. If you were to not get into Productivity Coaching, you'll have to pay for them. So one is called Cole Resource Realty. Cole Resource Realty is essentially an online directory. So let's say you had an open house at a new listing and you wanted to invite all the neighbors to the open house. You could put in, let's say the open house was here and you wanted to call the 1,500 people that live closest to that property and let them know you have a new listing, or invite them to the open house, or let them know the deal just went pending, or let them know the home just sold, something like that, and try to prospect for new opportunities or adding people to your database. It's all that information. It's generally around $1,200 a year. That is free with Productivity Coaching. Okay. We also have a subscription to Vulcan 7. Vulcan 7 is the premier source for expired for sale by owner and withdrawn listings. That's updated daily. That service, it's really the data, is about $350 per month, and that is free with Productivity Coaching. Okay. Let's see. We are in the very, very early stages of this, and I'm reluctant to even tell you much about it, but we are in the process of creating an appointment generating product that would only be only agents within Productivity Coaching would be eligible for. Obviously, there's no mandate that you're in coaching, and there's no mandate that you participate in this if you don't want, but it would be an opportunity for us to share an appointment with you, that we would say, hey, we have done some type of lead generation work, and a telemarketer or something is finding an appointment and handing it to you. Hey, Mindy, Bob and Joe Smith want to buy a home. They want to see these 3 homes. Go meet with them. Boom. And you would pay for that referral. And you would pay for that referral just like you would pay an agent from Chicago that calls you and says, hey, can you service this particular deal? Right? So again, there's no mandate that you accept that or participate, but it would just be another opportunity for you to secure more business and have more income. Okay. That opportunity we're actually running some pilot programs on this week to see if our mathematical estimates are as accurate as we think they are. Okay, we're basically labbing that. Let's see. There's also, so many of you guys know, we're part of the Georgia Legacy Group. Georgia Legacy Group is 3 offices, Alpharetta, us, and Fuchsia Corners. And there's a director of productivity and career development that oversees the 3 offices programs. They have a few offerings each week as well that the agents in the Roswell program would be eligible for. Okay, 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we have a session that is what we call high accountability. So you sign on to a Zoom room. It's a different link for all these programs, but it's nice and easy. I send out a weekly email with kind of a review of what happened in the week behind and a review of what to expect in the week ahead. And all the links are in there. Plus, of course, if you can't find a link, you just text one of us through WhatsApp and we get it for you. Okay, so there's 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, from 10 o'clock to 10:15. You hop in this room and you basically say, in the last 2 days, this is what I've been working on to get a client. And in the next 2 days, this is what I intend to work on to get a client. And it's an opportunity for you to hear other ideas of what other agents are doing and to have accountability around your intentions, okay? Once a week, we have an advanced skill development class, we have a script class, and we have a social media class, okay? There is no role taken at all, okay? You can participate as much as you would like or as little as you like, okay? Some of us have other jobs and, you know, virtual schooling and all these kind of things, so you're not, you don't get like demerits or something if you don't come. The idea is that we know that the more you engage, the better you'll probably do. However, we know that this business, you don't get paid on how many classes you go to. You get paid on how many families you help buy something or sell something, right? So I help you find that blend between working on the projects, learning, and oftentimes relearning, and actually using what you know to go find human beings that want to do business with you, right? And probably the single biggest indicator of how successful you will be is whether you have a schedule that you honor. And if the schedule represents the things that we know cause you to be successful, right? What kind of questions do you guys have right now?
I don't know, just I need to ask you, can you repeat about, you say that we got coaching meeting every day from 8:30 to 9? I didn't get it.
That's correct. 8:30 to 9 every day in this room. And we have kind of a morning huddle where we're talking about, you know, kind of, we're celebrating people, you know, what are we grateful for? What happened in our business this last day that we want to share or celebrate? What challenges have come up that we need to address, right? If you're having a challenge, Mike, in your business, it's very likely that Mindy's having the same challenge, right? So how do we navigate that? So if somebody says, hey, I keep getting asked to cut my commission, then we talk about how to deal with that objection, right? Hey, I keep getting asked how to, you know, I don't know, how to do something with respect to COVID. Okay, well, let's talk about it, right? How do we keep our buyers safe during COVID? How do we keep our sellers safe during COVID, right? Let's talk about the money for a second. This coaching program is different than the vast majority of coaching programs that you might be familiar with, okay? In the vast majority of coaching programs, the coach says, here's what I do, here's what I offer, and $200 an hour. And if you want to work with me, write me a check. And as soon as the check cashes, you can come and we can work together. Okay. And if the coaching works, that's on you. You're basically paying for the coach's time, right? You go to the gym, you get a personal trainer, they're like $100 an hour. Whether you lose weight or get muscle or feel better, that's on you. Okay. The coach still got paid because they were there and they got paid for their time. Okay, this is the exact opposite. Okay, basically you sign a short contract that says, you know, what your expectations of me are, what my expectations of you are. We get into an agreement, and then you show up, you start taking advantage of all the opportunities, all the tech offerings, the weekly coaching, the group coaching, the support within the group, the community, WhatsApp groups, YouTube, all that stuff. And when it works, right, when you have a closing, then it's 10% of the gross commission income. 10% of the gross commission income. So if you earn a $10,000 commission check, $1,000 would come off the top, and the market center would take 30% of what's left, and 6% would go to Keller Williams International. So the PC investment comes off of the top. Okay, we do have a annual cap in place that it runs off of your fiscal year in the program, essentially. So Mindy, let's say you hop in the program today. Between the 8th of October and next 8th of October, the most you could pay me is $10,000. So if you make 100 grand, you'll pay 10 grand. If you make 200 grand, you'll pay 10 grand until the year starts again, and you can decide if you want to stay in coaching. Okay, as I mentioned before, we've got agents that are making 6 figures easily and are still in the coaching program because they know. As we get to know each other more, you'll know that I don't mean to. I'm definitely not trying to, sound braggy or anything like that. But I'm very confident in the fact that 90% of what we can do together beats 100% of what you can do by yourself. I feel super strong about that. So for example, if you want to do this all by yourself, and I don't want to say all by yourself because you're still at Keller Williams, right? But without a coach, right? And you go make 60 grand and you don't have to pay a 10% fee. But if we work together, I can help you make 90 grand, then you're going to net more money together with me. Does that make sense? So I'm hoping it's a no-brainer as much as possible. There is no long-term contract. If you at any point feel that you're not getting value, you're free to leave the program. Okay. My preference, to be perfectly honest with you, is don't send me an email in the middle of the night telling me you quit. Right? Pull me aside and say, hey, I'm struggling with this. I wish you did this. Can you do this? Can you do this differently? I hate when you say that. I love when you say this. Like, give me some feedback. Okay. I'm open to that. I'm completely open to that. I want to make sure that I'm serving you in the way you need to be served. Okay. There is kind of 2 exceptions to the 10%. So let me discuss that real fast. This probably doesn't apply to many of you, but if you have a deal that is pending right now, so we're just waiting for the property to close, and you join the program, there's no fee. Okay. If you have an active buyer or an active seller listing agreement or buyer agency agreement, yet the property itself is not under contract, and you join the program, it's a reduced fee of 5%. Okay. If you join the program with no pending business and you just come in and start earning it, then obviously it's the 10%. If you leave and you have a closing that we're just waiting for the deal to close and then you leave, it's the normal 10%. If you are in the program and you have an active listing or an active buyer, yet the property itself is not under contract, and you decide to leave the program, then it's a reduced fee of 5%. And if you leave the program and the next day you earn a listing, there's no fee. Any questions on that? Mike, Doris, anything?
Yeah, we talking about money. I don't know if after this meeting you're gonna send us some document to get time to read and everything's correctly.
Say that one more time for me, please.
No, I'm saying we talking about money, and I would like if at the end of this meeting you can send us papers. We can read and understand everything's clearly, right? Because I don't get it clearly.
You're saying you don't think it's clear yet?
No, I don't get it clearly. I don't understand everything correctly. Can you send us something to read? Some paper?
Yeah. So I can send each of you the productivity coaching contract, which spells out the fee and the exceptions to the fee, which I just named. In short, okay. You can stay in the contract as long or as short as you want. Okay. When you're in the program, the transactions that you have, 10% of the gross commission income that you earn when you earn it would be due. If you're in the program for 4 months and don't have any business, you don't pay anything. You only pay when you have a closing.
Oh, okay.
And that's a generalization, right? So you join the program, you're in the program for 6 months and don't do anything. I mean, that's a whole different discussion on why that's the case, but you wouldn't pay for anything. Okay. As soon as you have a closing, you make a payment. Okay. The most you could ever pay within a 12-month period is at $10,000. Okay. Again, my bet is that if you're, let's just say you're capable of making $70,000 alone, my bet is I can help you make more than 80 or more than 77, really. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Not to mention, I mean, you're really looking at like about you're looking at about a little over $5,000 just simply in the tech opportunity you get for free from being in the program. So that's half of your max fee anyway. Right. Again, we're trying to make this as a no-brainer as possible. Okay. What other questions or thoughts do we have?
So I know I struggle a lot with just the technology part of it, just because I haven't had to use technology.
Yep.
Will we be able to have, like, if we get a contract and we have no idea how to fill that contract out in Command, will there be like a process where, you know, we can come and say, hey, I need this contract signed out and DocuSign and Command and all that, and you walk us through it, or give us resources to do that?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, this there's actually a couple different ways I want to answer that question. So the first is, you know, we make a promise to all agents that come to Keller Williams, regardless of whether you're in productivity coaching or not, that we're a training and technology company. So we have the resources, websites, videos, you know, Facebook groups, chat rooms. We have 2 agent mentors at the office, Susan Corley and Kathy Ray. Kathy's even in the productivity coaching program. Melba, obviously, who's our managing broker and who teaches Ignite, right? The leadership team, myself, Robin, Susan Corley, Kathy. We have an agent leadership council. So like, there should be no reason why, even if you weren't in productivity coaching, that you can't figure out how to write a contract, right? There's tons of resources for that. So, you know, there is a teaching component to productivity coaching. There really has to be. But again, you can get taught without being in coaching. Coaching is more like, hey, let's talk about what you've learned and how to make sure that you continue to gain momentum, so that we can actually do the things that make the most sense to help you get more business, right? That's the difference between teaching and coaching. Teaching is, here's a form, I'm going to teach you how to fill it out. Coaching is, hey, remember yesterday when I taught you to fill it out and you came in here after you told me you were going to do it and didn't do it? Let's talk about why that is. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you're not relying exclusively on me to teach you how to sell homes. And that's the beautiful thing about Keller Williams, is we teach you leverage, right? We've created videos. We have other employees that are in place to help with some of those tasks. But look, at the end of the day, if you can't figure out how to get paid, then I don't get paid either. So it's in my best interest to make sure that you know how to be prepared. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. With like a tiny bit of sarcasm?
No, it's just my downfall. Technology is just my downfall. So.
Well, I tell you, I heard this funny line today. Can I put you on the spot?
Sure.
Okay. Do you, when it's time for you to wash your clothes, do you go down to like the lake and like stick them in the lake and like wring them out?
No.
Okay. So,
No.
you're into technology, right? You have a washing machine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you have a rotary phone in your house? I
don't.
Oh, that must mean you have a cell phone. So like, you must be into technology.
Yeah. True.
Okay. You sent me we text sometimes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, there was no text messages like 15 years ago. How
Right.
did you learn that?
Yeah. Slow baby step. I mean, I took baby steps to learn those things, but yeah, I still learned them. Yeah.
Well, you also took baby steps to learn how to walk,
Right. That's true.
right? But like a little child doesn't walk for, try to walk a couple times and say, hey, this walking thing ain't for me. They keep trying,
Right.
right? And they get up and they fall and they get up again and they fall and they get up again and they figure it out, right?
Mhm.
But did they have a coach? I mean, somebody was walking them through how to walk, right? The mother or the father or somebody's like, hey, shift your weight this way and let me hold you and take a left step first. I mean, we all have coaches.
Right.
So I said to the group this morning, I said, look, you are not going to be replaced by technology. Okay. I think maybe we'll have a different conversation in 50 or 100 years, but I don't think there will ever be a swipe right to buy the song. There's going to be a human involved somehow. Okay. Now, as technology advances, the humans might have a smaller role and therefore have a smaller commission, right? But it's our job to be an advisor, right? And to walk them through what is essentially one of the most stressful couple of months of their life, right? And with the most financial impact, right? Now, you will be replaced by the agent who is embracing and mastering technology, right? So if you're like, hey, I don't really send email, I'm going to stop by your house and have you sign this in writing, like your days might be numbered. You see what I'm saying? So
Right.
you're not expected to become a technologist overnight, but it's built to be as intuitive as possible. And when it's not intuitive, you just watch a video on how to make it intuitive, right? So I wouldn't take the language of I'm not a technology person out of your head, and instead say, hey, this is a piece of technology I'm not so familiar with. I wonder if there's a way that I can make this easy, and if I adopt it, it will help me save time
Mhm.
and serve my clients better. Now that sounds like something pretty exciting. You follow me?
Right. Yeah, I get you.
Right? Like at one point you didn't know how to send a text message. You didn't know how to open an account on a website. And then you figured it out. Like you have a cell phone, right, Mindy?
Yeah.
What kind of cell phone is it?
The iPhone 11.
Okay, so did you like go to a class on how to use the iPhone?
No, I had my nieces show me.
Did they go to a class on how to use an iPhone?
No, I mean, they just,
Well, how in the hell did they do it?
I don't know. I wish I knew.
I know how they did it. They started messing with stuff and they saw what happened.
Mhm.
They swiped right and they saw what happened. They hit the back button, they saw what happened. They hit the like app menu and they saw what happened. And they learned. That's the way we're going to have to learn this business and technology. Y'all see that relationship?
Mhm.
All right, Doris, I haven't heard from you one moment. Any questions, any thoughts? Mike, any questions, any thoughts?
The question I got is about the command. Who's supposed to help us to use the command? It's gonna be a coaching, or somebody else can explain me how to use the command, because I got a couple questions.
There's probably some stuff I could help you with, certainly. My recommendation for an overview of command is to go to a website called In Command with Sam. Sam Jackson is our Director of Innovation and Technology. He has a huge library of videos on YouTube. There's also a number of big KW people that have Facebook groups on best practices and new stuff and new releases and 66-day challenges and all kinds of stuff online. Let me share something with you, and I'm not suggesting that you're not this. I'm just sharing it. Okay. I would say that there's probably two primary characteristics of agents that become very successful and agents that do not particularly have a lot of success. Number one is how coachable you are, right? If you walk in the door and you say, hey, Melody, where are all the people making money having fun? And she shows you where they are and you do that stuff, there's an incredibly high chance you'll make money and have fun. If you elect not to do that stuff, probably won't make as much money, and therefore probably won't have as much fun. Okay? No judgment. It just is what it is. Okay? The other thing is how resourceful you are. Right? So if you say to yourself, you know, I don't know how to do this thing in Command. I don't know how to add a contact. Let me ask you a question. And again, I'm not trying to sound rude here, but do you think that there is anybody that may have made a video on how to import a contact into Command? We have 180,000 agents across the world, right? You could literally find 10,000 videos on that online, right? So I'm not saying that people aren't available to help you. I'm just encouraging you to take one extra step to be as resourceful as possible, right? So don't, like, my 4-year-old knows how to use Google, right? If he wants to say, hey, what's the biggest pizza that's ever been made? He picks up my cell phone. He already knows how to get into it. And he says, hey, Google, what's the biggest pizza that's ever been made, right? So for some reason, sometimes as adults, we stop being curious and we stop being resourceful. So in short, Mike, there are tons of people that can help you with questions like that and tons of resources online. And yes, I'm able to help. But one of the first things, I may not say it out loud to you, but I'm going to be thinking is, could he have just Googled this? Like, is there any resourcefulness here? Right? The people that are the most resourceful are going to have the most success, right? So, well, I don't know how to do a buyer presentation. Okay, well, have you Googled buyer presentations or looked it up in KW Connect and seen like 30,000 different ways to do it? Because the information is there, right? I mean, I can tell you how to do it. I can show you a bunch of places to find it. I can tell you what I think works best. But the key is to be resourceful. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But and Mike, please don't hear that I don't think you're resourceful. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know you're resourceful. We've met a few times. Okay.
Just a question.
What's that?
No, I say it was just a question, you know?
Yeah, you didn't say I can't figure out Command. You said, if I can't figure out Command, will there be somebody to help me? All right, you guys, what I would love to do, if it's cool with you, is send you a copy of the productivity coaching agreement. It's just 2 pages. It's pretty straightforward. There's no tricks or anything in there. Just take a look at it. If you got any questions, let's talk about it. If you want to ask me something privately, give me a call, send me a text. We'll get together on that. And as soon as you autograph the contract, it'll come from Lee Fox. It'll be a DocuSign document. It'll come from Lee Fox, our assistant MCA. When you review it, if you like what you see, go ahead and sign it. I'll sign it. We'll be in partnership. I'll start to send you all the codes and passwords and links and all that stuff. The schedule for all the classes. We'll begin some of our private training, private, model development and business planning and all that kind of stuff. We'll get you on the schedule for the weekly 15-minute call, and you'll be part of it. We'll add you to the WhatsApp groups. You can have access to the YouTube channel and the Google Drive and all that stuff, and we'll get going. Again, I'm confident that this is all about a partnership, right? We have agents that have gone from no confidence and no skill to major confidence and major skill, and now can talk to anybody about anything, right? Again, I'm not saying you can't get that without productivity coaching. I think productivity coaching will push you a little bit so that you can think a little bit bigger and you can achieve the goals that you currently have. Okay.
Yeah.
Any last minute thoughts? Okay. Well, I'm excited to work with each and every one of you, and I appreciate you spending a little bit of time with me today. Welcome to Keller Williams, you guys. Let's go sell some homes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thanks.
All right, take
Thanks.
care now.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bill.
Yep.